Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? So excited to be with you guys today. I am flying solo. The John and Wayne show is going to have to wait. He had some stuff going on. Not a big deal, but we'll have way more John and Wayne content in the coming weeks. You know that's never going to go away. But today, I was excited about this show because I wanted to get Wayne's take. Instead, you're just going to get mine, so apologies for that. I want to go through what I think will be the 49ers starting lineup, week one, with here were kind of the rules that I set for the parameters of this discussion. Starting lineup, the starting 11, sub packages not included. Who do I think are going to be the first 11 out there? With one PUP or IR player per side of the ball. So one on offense, one on defense. And then I struggled because I was like, okay, you get 3 reserves, right? That's it for the offensive side, and 3 reserves for the defensive side. That was too hard. That did 4. I bumped it up to 5. So 5 backups, 11 starters, 1 reserve player, offense, defense, talk through that. And then the players that are left out. It was a lot harder process than I thought it would be. And Joe, right here, are you doing a jersey number today? Yes, we are. We're up to jersey number 46 in our best of series. The best player in 49ers history to ever wear jersey number 46. Learned a lot, but the player who I thought would win it did win it. And, man, one of my favorite players of all time on the 49ers that I thought never got the run that they deserved. We'll talk about him as well, but definitely not in consideration for best ever to wear 46, but I think he could have been if given the opportunity. I want to say thank you to everybody that's showing up. This is episode 1433 of the 49ers Rush podcast. And, man, I'm excited about this one just because I had a lot of fun putting it together and diagram and arguing with myself. What's up, RTPFTW in the house? Appreciate all the hashtag CCs. You guys are the best. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, we've got a jersey number today. I'm excited about that, man. Those are always fun. They take a lot of time digging through and, trying to find. I got a couple websites that I could use to kind of find some of this mysterious whatever else. And man, we're even going to talk some Jerry Maguire today, which one of our players is responsible for the famous tagline, "Show me the money," which I had no clue of before today. So that's what's up. Yeah, shout out to Wayne. Always be with him and his family. He's the best of the best. Love that man. Oh, Tim McDonald all day. Thank you, Thomas. I love it. 49ers nostalgia, the number 46. That's what it's about. So let's dive in. Let's do our starting lineup with key reserves on the offensive side, okay? So these are the 11 projected starters week one, which the offense was hard because, one, you have Brandon Ayuk out. He's going to be our IR reserve player for the offensive side, obviously. But let's go with the offensive line. From left to right, left tackle Trent Williams, left guard Ben Barch. I think he's going to win that job. Center Jake Brindle. As much as I don't like it, it's going to happen. Dominique Pooney, right guard, kind of the guy for the future, and Colton McKivitz, right tackle, right? So there's your 5 starting offensive linemen. Not much debate there. The continuity that Chris Forster, Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan all want, they kind of get that. Now the skill guys, starting with the quarterback, Brock Purdy, running back, Christian McCaffrey, obviously. The wide receivers, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, and then I have the 49ers starting in a 2 tight end set, right? So 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, George Kittle, Luke Farrell. I am really, really hoping Luke Farrell, especially early on in the season, gets a ridiculous amount of reps. Let's just say there's 60 reps per game, offensive snaps. I want him to get 35 to 40. I want Luke Farrell out there like crazy. I don't even want to see the 49ers go a true 11 personnel set for like the first 3 weeks until Demarcus Robinson's back. I don't want to see it. I want 12 and 21 personnel And I want 2 tight ends or 2 backs out there almost at all times. Because, again, I do not like the wide receiver depth early. Once Ayuk gets healthy, awesome. Demarcus Robinson, I really like him as that number 3 wide receiver, but he's going to be suspended more than likely early. That makes it even harder. So I want 12 and 21 personnel like crazy. Now, the good news, Shanahan typically uses those 2 personnel groups more than anybody else in the NFL. Did not last year. Did not. No, way too much 11 personnel, but you did have that number 2 tight end that you could trust, and Christian McCaffrey was hurt. You definitely didn't have 2 running backs that you could trust. It was rough. It was rough out there. So that's our starting 11 going in 12 personnel. Here are the 5 key backups. Spencer Burford. The fact that he has transitioned to tackle exclusively through OTA's minicamp, obviously he can play guard. He's kind of your utility backup lineman for both guard spots, both tackle spots. He's my number 1, so we get 5 backups per side of the ball. Number 2, Kyle Juszczyk. He's not one of our starters, even though he might be out there the first play if you go 21 personnel. Matt Hennessy, I want the backup center, and I really hope Hennessy gets to start some games this year. Isaac Guerrero as the backup running back, and Jacob Cowing as that number 3 wide receiver early. Remember, our IR guy on the offensive side is Brandon Ayuk. But, yeah, now, for those of you keeping score at home, that means we're keeping Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, and we're waiting on Brandon Ayuk, which means this is the problem with only keeping 5 backups. Jordan Watkins, he's left out. Demarcus Robinson, because of the suspension, he's left out. Good news is 49ers don't have to leave those guys out. Offensive line, Nick Sikel didn't make it. Jordan James, the rookie, he didn't make it. And McCorkle Jones, he didn't make it either. Like, that's what this process was difficult to do, because probably the most valuable thing it did was, who are the priority backups with high ceiling play that could get a ridiculous amount of snaps throughout the season due to injury or rotation or whatever, but also offer you so much versatility, right? Spencer Burford, experience last year, can play multiple spots, helps everybody. Kyle Juszczyk, well, man, we saw Kyle Juszczyk's value last year when CMC went down. Then Jordan Mason got hurt. Then Isaac Guerrero got hurt. Well, Kyle Juszczyk, you got to play fullback. Like, on 3rd and 20. That's what you got to do. So, like, he just provides this high floor, very low ceiling. But, they brought him back. He's now signed through his 10th year with the 49ers. Hope he gets played out. Matt Hennessy, gosh, imagine having somebody that could be a positive run blocker on the offensive line at the center position. We have seen in 3 years. Now, whenever you talk about Jake Brendel, and a lot of people love him. Well, those people work for the 49ers, but it's just rough. Like, all those big runs, he just limits. Like, the 8 to 10 yard runs, he stops from being 20 to 30 yard runs consistently. He just has no functional strength. Matt Hennessy is the exact opposite. So I really, really hope at some point we get to see exactly how good he does. Now, can he be consistent pass pro from the center position? That's the question. Jake Brendel's decent at that. Not great, but he's decent at that. At least for the first 2 seconds of the play. He stops every single time after that. Isaac Guerrero over Jordan James. The ceiling on Isaac Guerrero is wonderful. He's big. He's the biggest running back the 49ers have. He's the fastest running back the 49ers have. Former wide receiver. He's got good hands. He just got to get it up here. He's got to get it up there. And then Jacob Cowing, gosh, man, if there's one wide receiver that could take strides and provide meaningful reps this year, everybody should want it to be Jacob Cowing. Because if it is, gosh, man, you have depth at the wide receiver position that I don't think that you have, especially early on in the season. So, yeah, that's our offensive side. Oh, that was hard. That was difficult. Because there's still a lot more players that, again, I mean, leaving off Nick Sikel, Demarcus Robinson, Jordan James, Mac Jones, Jordan Watkins, like, That's a lot of guys. That hurts. That hurts. All the later hashtag CCs, appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. What's up, Ben? How we doing, man? We got Mike C in the house. Love it, love it, love it. Logan, hey, Sin, how we doing? That's a starting lineup. Now just run the ball. And yes, for McDonald for 46. You know, it's funny. I had in my notes, I went and dug up this clip. But here's George Kittle talking about what the offense needs to do to be great.
So, I mean, I think all we have to do is hold on to the football, run the ball really well, and we're going to be okay.
That goes back to last year where it was rough and, you know, you're throwing the ball a lot and all that. And just to drive the point home, this goes back to the 2023 season, back to Kittle.
And us being a one-dimensional football team isn't very good.
You got to run the damn football. It's what the Shanahan scheme's built on. It's what the offensive line strengths are built upon. It's what your quarterback strength is built upon, right? Run, play action, all right? You can't have the play action without the running game, and it just all builds off of that. You've got to run the ball. Thank you, Benjamin. It's a solid starting lineup. The offense is fine. Did you get better this year? You're hoping the injuries are the difference, right? Because you're bringing back essentially 9 out of 11 starters. You're not bringing back Aaron Banks. That's not a loss. You're not bringing back Debo. That is a loss. Yeah, you wish you had Debo, especially to start this season. Good Lord, you could use him big time. But that's gone. That's not a possibility. He's on another roster. So you're replacing Aaron Banks with Ben Barch. I'm totally cool with that. I think Ben Barch is better and more consistent. Not when Aaron Banks is healthy. He just hasn't been healthy in 3 or 2 years. And then you're replacing Debo with Luke Farrell, the number 2 tight end. That's apples to oranges. But what it does do is gives you better run blocking and it gives you better pass blocking. That's huge for Brock Purdy and this offense. It's great for the run game. And it's great for the passing game, just a different spice, right? Like with Debo, you've got all the tackle breaking and, you know, highlight ability and all that stuff. But yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. The 49ers prioritized Luke Farrell above every other free agent that they acquired. He was priority 1. Really, really excited to see what he can bring. Excited. From King's Eye. He says, not sold on Cowing. Danny Gray used to look unstoppable in OTAs. Danny Gray did look good in OTAs, and he did look good in training camp. That is correct. But when the physicality of the pads came on, I would argue Jacob Cowing has already shown way more than Danny Gray did. You remember, Danny Gray didn't even have one. He had one catch. If my memory serves correctly, it was from Johnson, the quarterback. Yeah, I know we're not supposed to bring him up on here. His rookie year. Like, Jacob Cowing's not amazing by any stretch, but he showed way more in his rookie year. He finished with 4 catches. 4 catches on 6 targets, 80 yards. You remember he had that 50-yarder. So, yeah, it's better, but maybe not that much better. Danny Gray was drafted 3rd round, Jacob Cowing 4th round. But, man, I don't know. I'm not sold on Cowing either. But there's a need for that role in this offense, especially early. The wide receiver position is the least depth position you have on the offensive side of the ball. It's not close. Now, you have Brandon Ayuk come back in November. You have Demarcus Robinson, probably missed the first month. Those 2 guys back changes all that, but you don't have that early. In week 1, you're playing against a division opponent on the road who has a very decent secondary, to say the least, and a very great defensive line. So, man, that schedule, I'm excited about the schedule. I love that the 49ers are opening up the season with a meaningful game. But, man, that wide receiver position. I still personally wish the 49ers would go get a vet on a cheap deal that's still out there on the streets, veteran wide receiver, but seems like they're going to roll the dice. And if you stick with 12 and 21 personnel, you can make it work. You can make it work. Oh, man. Thomas, Cowing broke through twice. The ball was underthrown twice on guaranteed touchdowns. Yeah, that was an issue last year with Purdy. He throws a good deep ball. It's just, you'll hear him talk after the game, and he's like, I saw him, and I just wanted to make sure we got the completion. I don't mind that. Like, you don't have to go for the perfect Drew Brees deep ball that hits him in stride in the bucket every single time. You got to get the completion. But yeah, there were a lot of underthrown deep balls last year. That's a question mark with Brock, but I still think he's a good deep ball thrower. It's just, man, I'll take a 50-yard completion any day. Yeah, that Jacob Coward should have been a walk-in, untouched touchdown, but I still think we got points on that. Maybe we didn't get points on that drive. I'm going to have to go back and look at that one. Oh, look at this. I'm glad somebody brought this up. Anyone remember Danny Alphabet? Yeah, we're talking Danny Alphabet. Abramowitz? I'm messing that up. It's a Polish last name. He's in the Polish Football Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, we're going to talk some Danny Alphabet. I love it. Now, speaking of traveling, speaking of that first week in Seattle, man, if you're going to any 49ers game this year, you got to join us.
49ers Rush Road Trip is going into its 6th year with over 40 events at road games. If you're traveling to see the 49ers play this year, you got to come party with us. And on top of that, we give games, trivia, giveaways. We've partnered with TickPick this year. All you have to do is search 49ers Rush on any of the TickPick sites, apps, you name it. And on top of all of that, best dressed, giveaways, autographed jerseys, kids are always included, and get in for free with a ticketed adult. And a lot of times for select cities, we will have 49ers legends come out, and you get to meet and greet them and get an autograph. Navarro Bowman, Frank Gore, Patrick Willis, Fred Warner are all players that we have worked with in the past. And trust me, if you want to build the 49ers community, you're traveling by yourself, we got you covered. 49ersRushRoadTrip.com.
I love it. Look at this. We got Lieutenant Simple Jack, Rob Louder, the Striking Gold podcast in the house, man. Appreciate you, brother. You are the absolute best of the best. Benjamin, Cowan's offseason work with Purdy builds trust, which leads to looks, opportunities, and production. I am in on him. I like it. And, again, I'm betting on the upside. And so here's the question. If you had to pick one wide receiver to make this roster, would you pick Jordan Watkins? Would you pick Jacob Cowan? Now, I don't think that that's a decision that the 49ers are going to have to make because Ayuk will be on PUP. He's not going to count against the roster because DeMarcus Robinson is going to be on the suspension list, not going to count against the roster. I think you're going to keep both. But I'm curious if you had to buy stock in one of the wide receivers, which one you would invest in. I would choose Jacob Cowan. I know Jordan Watkins is kind of the hot guy after OTAs, and I love that he's showing out. As long as one of them show out, that's fine. You don't have to bet on one or the other. And yeah, look at Jacob. Yeah, there we go. Both. Why not both? I do like that. But you need that vertical field stretcher, and they're both vertical threats with top end speed. Jacob Cowan's faster, but a lot smaller. I would argue Jordan Watkins is the better vertical threat, even though he's not as fast. He's bigger, tracks the ball very, very well. So we'll see. But I think that Jordan Cowan can be used as a gadget guy. I'm not so sure Jordan Watkins can, right? I think you can do end arounds, you can do screens, you can do all that stuff with Cowan. And I like that small slot role in this offense. You go back to the Houston Texans and what they were able to do with Tank Dell. Obviously, he's had 2 knee injuries, whatever else. One of them was a freak incident, but both of them really were. But there is a role for that in this offense. And that's the same offense, right? So there's a role for that small, speedy slot wide receiver role, that kind of Trent Taylor's role. But you get somebody like a Jacob Cowan that runs a 4.3, man, there's upside there. Doesn't mean he's going to be a hit. And again, what has Cowan showed that Gray did? He played more, way more than Danny Gray did, and he actually contributed offensively. But that's a fair critique. King says easily taking Watkins over Cowan. Ben says Cowan for sure. Worst case, he's already shown he's a great punt returner. There we go. Very solid punt returner. I like that. David, one of the show's producers, I think I would go Cowan after surviving year one of Kyle Shanahan rookie wide receiver hate season. That's huge. Watkins is not faster than Cowan. here we go. I'll just pull it up if I could spell their names right. Jacob Cowing. He ran a, let's see here, 4.38, 40-yard dash, and a 1.54, 10-yard split. And then we go on to Jordan Watkins, and he ran, and I might be eating my words here, a 4.37 and a 1.53. You are correct, King. I love it. Man, 1/10 of a difference on both. And yeah, Watkins is faster. Both 4.3 guys. I don't know why I had them at a 4.4 flat in my head. I was wrong. You are 100% right. One of my favorite things to do on this show is being wrong. I love being corrected, and I love the freaking audience holding me accountable. I freaking love you, King Zai. You are my hero. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Logan says Cowing is multifaceted. You can put him in tons of offenses. He'll contribute. Watkins runs such a great gauntlet drill. You have to take him over Cowing. Aaron, I sense your sarcasm greatly. And we have found Kyle Shanahan's burner account. Kingside nailed it. 4.37 versus 4.38. I love it. Thomas, Watkins may be better, but Shanahan rolling with the year 2 guy. Watkins probably takes Jennings' place next year. Ooh, that's going to be interesting because I think that this is probably the biggest difference between Cowing and Watkins. Cowing played outside, inside, slot. You know what? He can play both. I think Watkins can too. But if you go back to the Ole Miss tape, Watkins played pretty much exclusively on the outside. His greatest strength is vertical threat ability. Cowing's more of a space creator with horizontal routes. But if you're looking for the long term, like you have to assume Brandon Ayuk is going to be playing for the 49ers for multiple years. You can't get out of that contract now. Brandon Ayuk's X. Ricky Pearsall is Z, the Debo role. So the slot role, the Jawad Jennings role. Now, I know Jawad Jennings played X this year because Brandon Ayuk's hurt, but who would you rather have in slot? That's interesting. And I also, nuanced take on Jordan Watkins, I think his best skill set is vertical deep balls, but the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan and everybody talks about how smooth he is going across the middle, catching the route, those kind of in breakers and that drift concept and all that stuff that Debo did. So yeah, maybe he can get there. Rockets reason for getting drafted. I dominate the gauntlet drill. That's right. Coach them up, baby. King, love the great attitude, brother. You're awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, King says Ricky in the slot. I feel, man, maybe in 3 wide receiver sets. I think that he can do that. That's what he played predominantly at Florida. But man, I think they want Ricky Pearsall in that Z Debo role. And I hope they keep doing end rounds and all that stuff. I really, really do. All right, let's change gears. Let's flip to the defensive side of the ball. So again, the rules are my projected 11 starters with 1 IR reserve player, 5 backups, and who's left out. So let's start with the defensive line. I'm going Nick Bosa, Mikael Williams at the edge spot, and I'm going Alfred Collins, CJ West. Probably decent chance CJ West isn't the starter, but that he comes in, as the plugger role with the Bravo group. But I would take CJ West 100 times out of 100 times over Jordan Elliott, who I think will start. And spoiler alert, Jordan Elliott is not even one of my backups. I want consistent off defensive line play. I just do not value what he provides. Linebackers, another shakeup. Fred Warner, I've got us at a nickel set, and D Winters. I think D Winters gets that job, the number 2 linebacker role, early, and I think Nick Martin takes it late. But my week 1, my 2 linebackers, Fred Warner, D Winters. I will not be upset. I'd be actually pretty happy if Nick Martin wins that job, but I think it's going to be close, and I think they're going to go with the solid vet and allow Nick Martin to be that number 3 guy. Defensive backs, in a nickel setting, mind you, Diamador Lenore, Renardo Green outside, Upton Stout, the rookie, in there as the nickel back, and Jason Pinnock and Richie Grant as the starting safeties. Now, the 1 player coming from reserve, that's going to be Malik Mustafa, and my 5 backups, Bryce Huff, Nick Martin, Evan Anderson, Trey Brown, and Marquise Siegel, which leaves out Jair Brown. I'm sorry. it was rough, but I'm leaving him out, and he might be a starter week 1, Like, he might be there. Jordan Elliott, left him out. Sam O, left him out. Eter Gross-Matos, left him out. Kevin Givens, left him out. Tatum Bethune, left him out. Terrell Luter Jr., left him out. Like, I will say this. The defense was more difficult with the backup role, and that's pretty normal because defenses rotate much more than offenses do in the NFL. But, man, that's rough to leave those out. Like, how did Jair Brown, Jordan Elliott, Eter Gross-Matos, Sam O, one of my favorite players on this roster. Good news is the 49ers don't have to make these choices. But, man, like, I couldn't leave out Evan Anderson over somebody like a Jordan Elliott. I just can't do it. You have a quality young player that, man, is just so consistently good. Yes, he brings a little bit of what Alfred Collins and CJ West already bring. And yes, in this 5 backup situation, we don't have a pass rushing, defensive tackle, but the NASCAR package with Alfred Collins, I think, makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that was a hard one. That was hard. Let's see here. Look at this, Spitzer. #CC catching the live. Faithful checking it from Dubai. Wow, that's impressive. Makes the live shows a challenge. Love your work, Chasey. Man, Spencer, I really appreciate you, man. And I hope you're having a good time out there, bud. Is there enough depth to outright cut Elliott? I don't think so because you don't have that role. You've got the pluggers, Alfred Collins, CJ West, Evan Anderson. You've got to have some of those 3-tech guys. And that's Jordan Elliott. That's Kevin Givens. That's that role that you kind of have to have. But yeah, it's not easy. And, if you want to talk about, Sebastian Valdez, the undrafted free agent, he fits that role. So, like, if you can get enough from a Sebastian Valdez to maybe let go of a Kevin Givens, maybe he's the new Kevin Givens. But I think Jordan Elliott's safe to make the roster. Now, the stipulations we put on the criteria for creating this list, 11-11, 5-5, into 2 reserve roles. Well, that's 22, 32, 34 players we're keeping. You got to keep 53. So I put this exercise under much more rigorous cuts than the 49ers will have to go through. But I liked it because it forced me to make decisions on guys like Jordan Elliott, like Jordan Watkins, like Jordan James, right? And guys like Marquise Siegel, who he was my last guy to keep on my 5 backups. I don't know where he's going to play. Is he going to be a safety? Is he going to be a nickel? Is he going to be outside corner? You going to add weight and make him a linebacker? Like, he's just kind of like a joker card for Robert Saleh. And I love Marquise Siegel. I absolutely love that dude. And, like, he was somebody I was super high on before the draft because he just checked too many boxes that the Niners covet. And, like, again, like, one of my favorite tweets I put out this year was, dude, expect the 49ers to target Marquise Brown day 3. He just fits everything that they love. And sure enough, they went out and got him. And they don't even have a clear path for him. We don't even know where he's going to play. Now he's dealing with, I think it's sports hernia issue, I think. But we haven't even seen him line up out there. He's going to be a safety. He's going to be a nickel, going to be a corner, going to be like, he could play half of the defensive spots. And Saleh's in the past has converted those guys to linebacker. But we'll have to see. I really don't know what the path is for him, but he's one of those guys you just got to get out there. Oh, man. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that, baby. Jacob, rookies will play a lot. When you skip free agency and you bring in 11 draft picks and another 6 undrafted free agents, and you let so many guys go in free agency, yeah, you got to play rookies. You have to play rookies. Oh, look at this, Logan. Don't be surprised if Sebastian Valdez finds a way on that 53-man roster. There's a spot there. King, yeah, Siegel could be a dude. I'm super excited about Marquise Siegel. Logan, Luter got to show something this season, or he'll be out. Darrell Luter wasn't even out there practicing. Again, not healthy. Like, that dude has not made any OTAs or mini camps. I think he's 0 for 4 now. I think he's missed every single one of them, or at least parts of all 4 of his training camps, OTAs. Like, that's hard. I know he was promising, and I loved his tape, and I love the build. You see him out there standing next to the defensive backs and corners. He's big. I mean, he's built. Dude, just don't practice. Don't practice. It doesn't learn on special teams. Oh, man, I get so mad. Right here, Sin, is Tanner Mordecai better than Mac Jones? No. In no world is that true. I do like Tanner Mordecai more than Mac Jones, but no, I'm not a Mac Jones fan. That has been well established on this show, but he is a major upgrade over the two guys that beat out Tanner Mordecai last year, Brandon Allen and Josh Dobbs. I'd take Mac Jones over all of those guys. Now, they do look different. Tanner Mordecai is more athletic. He's got a much better body. He actually spends time in the weight room, and he's got a stronger arm. But Mac Jones is a much better quarterback. And I am not a Mac Jones guy. I do know Larry Kruger's giant on Tanner Mordecai. But nah, Mac Jones is the guy. It's not even close. Right here, Luter and Womack excel at causing turnovers, just in very different ways, unfortunately. Oh, man, that would hurt my heart. Ben, Elliott is a pure three takes a deep leap this year. I think he starts with Collins. I would, if I had to bet, I do think that those are your two starting defensive tackles week one. They would not be my two starting defensive tackles week one. And, you know, Jordan Elliott is kind of a conundrum for me, if I'm going to be honest with you, because it's just been a roller coaster. Our relationship has been a roller coaster. You know, he was a Texas guy, committed to Texas. I remember watching him Westside High School. I remember watching him play high school ball, and I was like, dude, this guy's awesome. Goes to Texas, just can't make it work. Can't make it work. Transfers to Missouri, was great. Then he comes out in the draft in a year. I think it was the 2019. It was the Javon Kinlaw draft. And I wanted to take Jordan Elliott in round 2. I wanted to take best available in round 1 whenever Tristan Wirfs was there. I was like, you take Tristan Wirfs or you take CeeDee Lamb, and then you get Jordan Elliott round 2. Well, Jordan Elliott kind of played up to his, where did he go? He went in the 3rd round to the Browns at the top of the 3rd round. And yeah, he started for the Browns on a great defensive, line team, but he's gotten worse. I really think that he's gotten worse. So if he could step up, Benjamin, and just be consistent. He has that 1 out of 5 flash plays that is just like, oh, that's awesome. But the 4 out of 5 plays, he's getting driven back into the linebackers. And probably one of the main reasons why the 49ers run defense was so bad last year, that dude just can't play against double teams. He just can't do it. Thomas, is Kalia Davis still on the Niners? I really thought he'd break through. He is. He's got that athletic. He's bigger, but he plays like an undersized guy. We'll see there. Logan, we should have kept Womack. I'm with you 100%. Can Valdez win the job over Elliott? No. I think if Valdez wins the job, he's got to beat out Kevin Givens, who Kevin Givens was Sebastian Valdez before Kevin Givens. He was an undrafted free agent all the way back in the Greenlaw, Bosa, Mitch draft, 2018. So, yeah, he's got to beat out that guy. How do you feel about Alfred Collins? Do you think he'll be there for training camp? If he gets signed, only 2 second-round draft picks have been signed in the NFL. 30 have not been. The calf strain, I think, is an extra reason why he's not out there, but I'm not overly concerned about calf strains usually. This guy played 64 out of 65 games in Texas. So, yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I think he's going to have the biggest rookie impact of any rookie on this team, including Mikael Williams. I think Alfred Collins is going to be everybody's favorite rookie, him or Nick Martin, or maybe up to golly. It's hard, right? We got so many rookies that are going to play. Right here, Jacob, I'll take a rookie that pops over a higher paid player. Unlike when we let Womack, Jacob ain't let Womack go, man. He bringing him up in every comment. I love it. To keep Yadam, we can't do that again. Yeah. And again, I personally, I don't think it was Womack versus Yadam. I don't think that it was. I think it was Womack versus Ambry Thomas on IR. That was the problem. I don't think it was a Yadam versus Womack. I think it was Ambry Thomas versus Womack, which makes it worse because Ambry Thomas wasn't even healthy. That's the issue. I think they were keeping Yadam. They paid Yadam, and I know a lot of people didn't like him. He was our second best special teamer last year. Like, he contributed in a positive way. Ambry Thomas did nothing last year. Played 0 snaps, caused a fit because he was on IR, and you cut him and got nothing anyway. That was one of the biggest misuse of roster management. Oh, man, I was pissed. Oh, Monkey Boy. Can we talk about Fred's greatness? Talk about Fred Warner, rightfully so. But what would you say his weaknesses are? How could other linebackers we have compensate? The biggest issue with Fred Warner is overcompensation. He sometimes feels like he's got to play Superman hero ball, and it's happened multiple years in a row. And you can't blame him whenever the defense just not making plays. People are making mistakes. He overcorrects for his linebackers. He did that last year with Devondre Campbell. He did it with DFF a lot whenever DFF would come in. He will overplay coverage, which he's the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, and give up the underneath. Well, that's not the way the defense is designed and schemed. So that's his biggest issue. And, man, he's great versus run, can blitz, coverage, unbelievable. But the one area is he just overcorrects for the deficiency of the other guys out there. And I think that's a big reason why D. Winters might start week 1. Ben, after OTAs, I've got Luter not making the cut. I hate it, but I think he is done. You got a new DB coach, Coach Ray Brown. You got a new special teams coach, which, man, Luter was as bad in special teams as ever. Might have cost us the Super Bowl. And Brant Boyer, he doesn't have guys in the building anymore. He does not. So, yeah, that's there. Oh, what's up, JP, my man? James over IG. Flag football team is undefeated so far. Love you too. Yeah, love you. There we go. I freaking love it, man. Way to go. JP, I love following your coaching stuff with the kiddos. Appreciate all that you do. James over Isaac Rendo. Long-term, yes. But, man, they got to believe in Isaac Rendo. You traded away Mason before you even drafted Jordan James. There's a lot of faith in Garendo in that building. There's a lot there. Whew. Yeah, we'll see here. John, would you bring E-Man back? We need outside corners. If he could pass a physical, sure. A league minimum deal, no guarantees. Yes. I love Emmanuel Mosley, but, man, those injuries, they got bad. And I feel bad for the guy, but I think he's still under contract. I think he is. Let me see here. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's a free agent now. Yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah, we need outside corner depth. 100%. This is another reason why. Hated we kept Ambry Thomas over to Sean Jameson. Ambry Thomas just keeps costing us good corners. Yeah, I freaking hate that. Yeah, be safe, brother. Appreciate you, man. Jacob, I'm optimistic with regards to the future of the franchise. Same here. We are in a better position in 2025 than we were in 2024. A lot to be excited about. Man, those injuries, they ate us up, man. They ate us up. Logan, with how the Bengals are treating Shamar Stewart situation, I wouldn't mind giving up draft compensation for Stewart. You know, Shamar Stewart left minicamp, contracts there. The Bengals are trying to put a new stipulation on his contract that has never happened in the history of the NFL, where if he gets injured, it voids all future guarantees. 3 first-round draft picks, been doing some research, have voids on current years, where, like, if a player in the first round has an injury, the guarantees for that one single year would be voided. 3 of them do. The Bengals are saying all future guarantees for the rest of your contract at any point if you're injured. I would not sign that deal if I was Shamar Stewart. The NFLPA should be turning up the heat. Will the Bengals be willing to trade Shamar Stewart? I do not believe so. If they would, yes, I would offer a second-round pick in 2026 for Shamar Stewart. I would do that. And I don't even like Shamar Stewart. And I don't think that he's right to complain, but I don't think he's done himself any favors. He's provided an easy opportunity for people to kind of go after him. The Bengals have handled this horribly. I don't think Shamar has handled it well either. And so would I give up a second-round pick for him? Yeah. But I said this on a show previous. No way the Bengals do that. And even before I offer that, I have to talk to Shamar's agent and Shamar and say, these are the stipulations, whatever the hell those are. You have to sign this deal. And you have to give verbal recognition, agent and player. You will sign this deal day one in the building. Otherwise, we're not doing this trade. You want out? We'll get you out. But this is what we're going to do. So you're sending second round pick compensation draft value, but you're still going to pay that 17th overall pick that he was drafted. It was 17th or 13th. Can you get that set up? And so 17th overall, I was right. So yeah, like if those things all happened, I would do those. But man, that is not likely to happen. Coach Cruz, look at this. What's one free agent you would like to see the 49ers sign? Yeah, it's freaking Green Bay, who they just cut the corner. I want him. Jair Alexander. I know he hasn't been healthy. I know he talks a lot. That's what corners do. Way back, my coaching defensive end days, and we would personnel whatever else, the different teams. And, I coached in South Dallas at Duncanville. We would have elite. We would have like 10 elite running backs, because everybody wants to play running back or wide receiver. And it was always hard because you would have these guys that could legit run 4.4, 4.5s, lead athleticism. And, they would rather be the number 3 running back than the number 1 corner. And my thing was always, okay, who talks the most? Who wants to fight the most? I want that guy playing corner for me. That's just what I want. I want angry, mad, hostile human beings that want to play, that just want to get on the field and hit somebody. And I would steal them from the offensive side. That's just what we would do. And a lot of our best defensive players were converted running backs, wide receivers that just had attitude issues. And Jair fits that. Now, I don't think that you pay Jair top corner money, but man, he would immediately allow John Chapman to sleep better at night, because I'm so concerned. You're a snap away from Trey Brown being a starting corner. And that dude's missed 40 games in 4 years, 39 games in 4 years. That's terrifying. So just veteran experience at the outside corner position, that would be huge for me. And then veteran experience at the outside wide receiver position. Somebody like an Amari Cooper. I don't want to pay Amari Cooper money, but man, for the first month of the season, that would be awesome. It would be awesome. Right here, you can't trade for players who haven't signed a contract. We can't get Shamar Stewart. Technically, you can. The rights to that player, it happened with Eli Manning and trading draft picks. Happens a lot more in the NBA. But yeah, it's too messy to actually have any grounds. But yeah, it's a possibility. But yeah, it doesn't happen in the NFL. Dale, John, I am only worried about one phase of our team's special teams. Specialty kickoff and punt coverage. Any insights? Hey, you got rid of the worst special teams coordinator in the NFL. Snyder was awful. I like one of the lowest points that I had all of last year, and there were a lot of them from a 49ers standpoint, was sitting at training camp the very first day of install, and they're going over the new kickoff rules. And it was a 25-minute period, and they did 2 reps in 25 minutes. You literally had 50-plus people standing around listening to Brian Schneider talk to 2 people at a time. It was the worst sign of coaching I have ever seen. Like, I mean this whenever I say he would have been fired from a high school team right then and there. Like, you just can't do that. And I put that out there on social media, and everybody's like, oh, it's new. You got to give him a chance. Don't worry, it's just new. Everybody's doing this. And I was like, no. There is not one team in the NFL that is getting 2 reps in a 25-minute period. Absolutely not. You coach in meetings, you instruct in meetings, you teach in meetings. At practice, you practice. We talk about practice? How many times can we reference the the answer, number 3, Allen Iverson in his press conference. But no, you knew it was dog shit from the start. That dude had no business, and Kyle Shanahan did nothing about it. Oh, we're just going to let him do his thing. And it was his thing is just he wants people to listen to him talk. You literally had 2 of the worst coordinators in the NFL last year out of 3. Oh, no wonder last year happened what it did. Now, Brant Boyer is not that. So I have faith in Brant Boyer. Do I think he's a top 5 guy, top 10 guy? No. Now, if you keep Jake Moody over Greg Joseph, my confidence level goes down considerably because Jake Moody can't kick a kickoff off the kickoff tee to save his damn life. Yeah, that ball, they have no clue where that damn ball is going. He has no clue where that damn ball is going. There's got to be some major miscues if Jake Moody stays on this team, which I think will happen. I don't think that's the right call, but yeah. And so maybe I don't have a lot of hope outside of you have quality coaching. You replaced a lot of DFF was a bad special teams ace that got guaranteed $2 million contracts. That was a terrible special teams player late in his career. He's gone. That's huge. You're hoping some of these guys, you paid a lot of special teams guys. A lot of special teams guys. King, surprised we haven't reached out to Asante Samuel Jr. Him and his agent put out a press release. They're not signing with the team until he's fully healthy. So it's not a 49ers issue. Asante Samuel Jr. is waiting till he's fully healthy, and there's a pathway to playing time, and he hasn't cleared the first hurdle. So, like, they publicly, the agent put out, we're not ready. And so I keep getting the Asante Samuel Jr. questions. This isn't a 49ers issue, even if they wanted to, which I don't know if they do or don't. Obviously, we were high on him in the draft. He was on the board. Then the 49ers traded back 5 spots. He went the next pick. Then we took Aaron Banks. Should have took Creed Humphrey the whole time, but that's okay. I digress. Man, I love these questions. I'm loving this. But yeah, I like Asante Samuel Jr. I would love him, but I don't think Asante Samuel Jr. is near as good as a lot of people think they are. Like, he was a backup player. He's not even a starter for the Chargers defense when he was healthy. Like, he was a backup nickel. I don't want a nickel. I want outside corners. Can Asante Samuel play that? Yeah. He's better at the nickel spot, but I'm way lower on Asante Samuel than almost everybody else, and he's not even available right now. Yeah, right here, Leon. He's waiting for his medical checkup date or something like that. Yeah, I want the best for him, and I would prefer him over what we have, but that's where it's going to be. It's just going to take some time for there. So, yeah, that's anyway. Isn't a bigger concern safety over corner? No, because you have capable safeties. Corner, you have 3 corners, and corner is a much harder position than safety. Safety, like, the difficulty level is like a 3 out of 10 on NFL most difficult positions. Safety is relatively easy. You don't need speed. You need awareness. You need play recognition. We have that in Pinnock, and we have that in Richie Grant, and we have that in Malik whenever he comes back. Corner is a 9 out of 10. And I'd say corner is probably the second hardest position in the NFL. Quarterback, 1. Cornerback, 2. Tight end, probably 3. If I'm just going off the top of my head, somebody could argue with me, but like most difficult, cornerback is hard as hell. Outside corner, even harder. So that's why my concern is at corner, because you have bodies at safety, which is an easier thing. You do not have bodies outside of your starters. You got Demo, Renardo Green, Upton Stout, giant gap. And so that's where my issue is. Aaron, Brindle's better than Humphreys. Brindle runs a great gauntlet drill. He does, I bet, actually. He does. Oh, man, you guys cracked me up. Now, let's get to our best of series. But before you do, if you go to any games this year, you know which app you got to use. It's the best out there. Hey, Niner faithful, if you're looking for tickets to see the 49ers play this season, TickPick is the destination for the best deals you'll find on tickets with absolutely no hidden fees. TickPick guarantees the best price on tickets to every NFL game and beyond. Download the TickPick app and use code NINERS, NINERS, at checkout to save $10 on your first order. Again, that's code NINERS. Get your tickets ready today to cheer on the team with the rest of the 49ers Rush community, and all of our events for the 49ers Rush road trip are sold exclusively on the TickPick app or tickpick.com. Just search 49ers Rush. All right, the best of series. We're up to number 46, the best to ever wear jersey number 46 for the 49ers in their history. And again, if a player switches numbers, we're just talking about what they did in this one single one. Just some names, currently John Weeks, the long snapper, is wearing jersey number 46 and kind of replaced Tabor Pepper, who also wore jersey number 46. Some recent names, Mark Nazocha, remember him from Germany, Alfred Morris, who came over to help the 49ers. One of my favorite 49ers of all time, Delaney Walker. Like, I love the unheralded, not supposed to do anything guy that is actually a playmaker. Delaney Walker was that. It didn't really ever get the playing time that I thought he deserved because Vernon Davis was elite. I get it. You're not taking Vernon Davis off the field, but it's 7 years with the 49ers. He was here from 06 to 12. No, sorry, 16. There we go. I'm that smart guy. To 22. 7 years with the 49ers. He only had 40 starts, played in 4 playoff games, 123 receptions, 1,400 plus yards, 8 touchdowns. He goes to the Titans, has 3 straight Pro Bowl years. And it's just like, we shipped away a tight end, 3 straight Pro Bowl years. But I get it. Vernon Davis is Vernon. Not trying to knock him, but I loved Delaney Walker. He was the more all-purpose guy, could block really well, could, do the H-back stuff. He was awesome. 6th rounder from Missouri State. Just a fun player. And right here, Joe, anybody remember Danny Alphabet? That's right. Danny Abramowitz from 73 to 74. He was a wide receiver, joined the 49ers after 7 years with the Saints. We got him at the end of his career. Had 60 catches, 800 plus yards, 2 touchdowns for the 49ers. Not bad. Went on to coach the Bears and the Saints under Mike Ditka. It was actually the Saints offensive coordinator for 3 seasons. So shout out to Danny Alphabet. Gotta love that guy. And one of the other ones that I'm just going to admit my own ignorance here, Clay Matthews. I had no idea the OG Clay Matthews played with the 49ers. Started 40 games back in the 50s. Not that Clay Matthews' father, Clay Matthews, the senior. And so now you've got all of his grandkids playing and whatever else. And his boys were the legends, Hall of Famers. But yeah, I did not know that. I did not know that. Anyway, but the best to ever wear number 46. Thank you, Ben. McDonald probably should be the number 46, but I love me some Delaney Walker. Tim McDonald. Dude was just a freaking legend, man. Just a legend. He played from 93 to 96, so 4 seasons, part of the Super Bowl team. He had a 55 AV score, which is really, really high. Safety from Fresno. 3 Pro Bowls with the 49ers, 1 Super Bowl. He was 2 times he was second team All-Pro. Just right on the cusp of greatness. Leroy Butler beat him out for first team strong safety 1 year, and Darren Woodson another year. Played in 12 playoff games with 2 playoff interceptions, 20 career interceptions with the Niners during the regular season, and part of one of the best secondaries in 49ers history. I don't know if I want to say the best, but definitely one of them. Dion, Merton Hanks, Eric Davis, Tim McDonald, that was just, you're talking about Pro Bowlers at every position. That was awesome. And even after he played with the 49ers, goes back to Fresno, coaches at Edison High School after retiring. And I never knew the story of Jerry Maguire. I didn't know this. During Tim McDonald's first free agency, he was drafted by the Cardinals, becomes a free agent. His agent's flying him around, doing all these meetings and stuff to see if teams want him. And so he calls his agent and says, quote, "Hey, I don't want to do any more of these trips. Let's get this thing done. At some point in time, someone needs to show me the money." End quote. Well, the agent shared that story, which was filmed, at the Cardinals facility. And so the player that was played by Cuba Gooding Jr. was basically modeled after Rod Moore Jr. And this line came from Tim McDonald, the "show me the money" line. Help me help you. That's a great show, man. I freaking love that show. So not only is the contribution and really all that I care about for the 49ers, a little bit of trivia there. I have no idea. I had no idea that he was that guy. Speaking of that guy, look at this. Thomas McDonald was that guy. He was one of the 2 guys who rescued the terrible Cardinals, the other Garrison Hurst. That is true. That is true. So, yeah, I love it. So Tim McDonald, best to ever wear jersey number 46. And man, that was a fun little run through nostalgia lane. Look at this. Rusty, I learned from Pepper's dad that long snappers across the league tend to be 46. I love it. Yeah. And so back-to-back long snappers wearing 46. That is cool. Now, real quick, we are going to continue our roster countdown series this upcoming week, but I'm taking a stop to go see some family. I haven't seen in a long time. I've been a bad family member, but I'm going to go see some people. And so I'm going to be kind of MIA. So I'll still have my computer, and if something happens, I will do a live show. But for the next handful of days, you're going to get some roster countdown series that I've been working nonstop on so that you guys have content while I am gone. But I do want to say thank you. You guys are the best. And until next time, stay strong, faithful.